So right now I am doing my second round of dancing to Poison Live. Can you believe it? So I'm also telling you that we got to talk to, for the first time, our Make-A-Wish, because we're going on a Make-A-Wish trip. We wanted to go to Hawaii, but they're saying there's a backup. So we don't know. We don't know if we can go there unless we wait a really long time, and we're not sure we want to do that. So I'm gonna keep moving because I'm gonna get younger. I don't know about you, but this girl, I might be 53, but I am 53 years. When they say young, oh, you better believe it, honey, because that's the direction, that's the only way to go. Oh yeah. That's the only way to go, honey. All right, come on. Why don't you join me now? You don't have to get old. Oh no. We're not. We're getting younger. And I'm not kidding. And the secret is to eat really good. Sometimes I don't. Like yesterday I went out and I had some French fries and some eggplant parmesan, but no, without the parmesan. Yeah. And sometimes I have a blooming onion. I did have a couple of slices of bread at the restaurant, but on the daily, yes, mostly raw. Woo! Love it, because you eat that and you're eating nutrition. You actually are. You're not just eating dead food. And I think the reason why we end up getting older looking and falling apart is because we're killing our food. And so you're starving. You know what I mean? Your bellies might be full, but your bodies, your cells are like, please, they're like wilted flowers, right? So I have to keep moving. So I should hang up now because we're gonna get younger now. I'm gonna look younger the next time you see me. Isn't that cool? I gotta Blair this. Who is Blair? Don't dance. Your mama does dance, honey. Woo! Your mama does dance and your daddy don't rock and roll. Hold it on. Gotta keep moving it, because if you don't move it, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna lose it. No dancing, no rocking. Except your mama does dance, honey. Hello, good morning. It's so early. This might be like the first time I actually spoke this morning, except for praying. I'm at the church, see? And, when I went in there, my mind was not the same as it is right now. And I'm here to tell you that, this life is very temperamental. It requires so much attention. And, we're taught that we have to be vigilant, okay, over our minds, our hearts, because our hearts can deceive us, our mind can deceive us. So we have to be so careful on how we go through this life, how we maneuver through. I mean, it's not even a joke. Like, it's so serious. We have to be careful on who we talk to. You have something very important to work through. I highly suggest, and I've been doing this for years, is to only go to the people that you absolutely know that aren't gonna cause trouble, right? They're not gonna twist what you're saying. They're gonna help you keep it in the right perspective with God. Because even though somebody might be a decent friend or family to you, in general, doesn't necessarily mean they know how to navigate you through, okay? certain situations in your life that are very important. So I walked in the church and I was just like a mess. And I was like, that's it. I gotta text my stepmother. My stepmother's really, really, really great. Her and my father, he did pass away. He went home. And so anytime I ever had any trouble, I would always go to them because I knew, or I'd go to a really good priest, you know. I'm talking like really like very serious, shouldn't be played around with kind of, you know, subjects. So it's cold. So we need to take, so I texted her and I said, can you give me I need encouragement. Can you help me with that? And so I was sitting in Mass and sure enough, she called. It wasn't during the Mass, it was right before. I try to show up early when I can, so I can really do my prayers and really, sit with God for a while instead of just being in and out. And then I repeat and stay afterwards too. So I talked to her beforehand and she really helped me with my situation to see it for what it is, not what's going on in here. My mind, and I'm sure maybe yours is like this too sometimes, right? I don't know who I'm talking to, so I don't know you, and so it's like it can play mind tricks, maybe from our experiences in our life. And so we think because, this happened to us that, in the past that I should bring that into right now. Well, that happened to me like this, so this is very similar. So maybe, you know what I mean? And then the devil, of course, he just loves to project things into our minds. He even projects things, like smells. I was at Mass the other day and some situation came into my mind right during Holy Communion. And I recognized it. I was thinking about it, meditating on it, and I was delighting in it. And I was like, wait a minute, this is temptation. It has to be. It has to be. So I instantly dropped it. You see what I mean? But isn't it funny, like right during Holy Communion? That happens to me a lot. I'll all of a sudden get like nauseous during Holy Communion, you know what I mean? And I just want to go vomit somewhere. And I'm like, because I'm thinking. So just now, my stepmother helped me to put things into perspective. And then what I like to do is I like to journal because it really also helps me to put things into perspective. And so, so that's exactly what I am doing. I have a tendency of fantasizing about something that's not a reality. You see, I'll be suspicious, and then that gets me into trouble because it's not reality. I'm even like hearing and seeing things that are the reality, and even though they're being said, I'll take it and say, well, this is what they really meant, or this is what the situation really is. It's so far off. And then, so I need people like my stepmother to help me go back and revisit that and say what it is, and I'm like, oh, okay. So it makes me more cheerful this way. And it's funny too. And I guess that's a good indicator too, is that when we're stinking thinking and it's bringing us torment and it's bringing us sadness and it's bringing us frustration and you want to give up and blah, blah, blah. That should be a clear indication that that's not the right way. That's not God. That's the other. You know what I mean? It's like it's part of the devil. So I think that, while I was being tormented, I'm thinking, well, Jesus said that his ways are light, and I think about St. Ignatius and how his teaching on discerning of the spirits is, God's way is light. And because I wasn't feeling light, I felt more burdened. I thought, well, then this can't be of God. But it was my stinking thinking that was the burden, you see? So now that I put things into perspective and now I'm looking at the reality of it, I'm saying I feel better. I feel more cheerful. And so what I've done is, because my situation requires silence right now to help matters. Does that make sense? So to help the matter, I've entered into silence, meaning that I'm not gonna talk about it with just anybody, and I am going to do less complaining and more focused and in a very healthy way, right? So you can get obsessed with praying in a very negative way, like, in more like a panic mode. When yes, praying is an urgency and it's an emergency and all of that. And so always keep doing that. But to enter into silence in a cheerful, you know what? Let me read to you what I wrote. So I love this because this is the Christmas season, and the word Advent, I don't know if you've ever heard of that, A-D-V-E-N-T, Advent, is we're waiting, right? We're waiting for the Messiah. We're waiting for the child Jesus. So I said that I need to enter into Advent. See, so during Lent, we will enter into that one. But right now, it's not Lent. Lent is more of a solemn time, right? We're reflecting in those ways. This is Advent, where we are waiting in a joyful way for, the Lord to come to us. And he's giving us this present to open the gates of heaven and to die for our sins and all of that. So I need to enter into Advent, waiting for Jesus to come to us. God is bringing us this beautiful gift of his son. I need to wait on my situation. Also, this too shall pass. Remain in Jesus' arms while God the Father does his deliveries of his son and my other situation. Pray, fast, hope, believe. I shouldn't share my situation with just anybody. Stay in silence on this retreat with my situation and only talk about it with my stepmother. Don't look for advice. I know for me, I might be sitting there at night watching television and exercising, and I might be getting in my head, and I'm just like, and I might want to complain, and then I might want to say something to a friend. Thank God for my situation coming into my life. Let Jesus satisfy me in his arms. So I wrote a whole bunch more than that beforehand, but I just wanted to give you guys a little insight on the gist of what I'm saying. So I hope this helps you. I hope it helps. And you have to be super duper careful of what you're thinking, because your stinking thinking can get you in so much trouble. I highly suggest to look up on YouTube Father Timothy Gallagher. I think it's the Discernments of Spirits. Just look him up, you'll see what I'm talking about. And you start from 1, and he has all these episodes, and I would not go fast at all. Like, I haven't even gotten through like the first however many. I have to keep going back and then listening to it again. I've read the booklet, and I really should do a series here. I really should. People seem to really like it, and it should be part of, like, after you're born, and it should be part of school. It should, because the stinking thinking that we get ourselves into, and it's not reality. My father used to always say, Lisa, stay in present time, so